Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Divine Brothers podcast. Man, oh man, it's been quite a day. I tell you what, I'm curious about what's happening in America right now because I just got off the phone with a old dear friend. He was telling me his cat died. This is like imagine a super femme gay dude. This cat was like his closest fucking friend. Like stayed with him for like 15 years. When we were living together, I knew this cat died. These fuckers in America. You know what they did? They're like, well, he's like, well, can I have my
Cloned him.
cat's ashes? No. Here's what we're gonna do, man. He's like, well, you have two options. We can either take the cat's ashes and we will mix them with all the other ashes from all the other euthanized dogs in the county pound, and then we will cast them into the city dump. Or you can pay $2,600 for us to give you the ashes in an urn. And I was just like, these motherfuckers. Like, how could you do this? Like, who would take advantage of somebody like that? And we started talking about America, and you know what he told me? He went to Taco Bell, good old Taco Bell. And I was like, yeah, what'd you spend there? $5. That can get you a lot of meals at Taco Bell. He's like, I got me a few burritos, me and my partner, cost me $30. $30 at Taco Bell. Chase, what's the world coming to, man? These are dark times, my friend. You can't be charging to get your cat get the ashes back and $30 at Taco Bell. Is this the apocalypse? Did they talk about this in the book of Revelation? Because I tell you what, man, this is some dark shit. I was not prepared to hear either of those facts.
I think in the end, China might win. And it's purely because life is tolerable. That examples like that. Hey, your dog died? You can't afford it. Hey, you just want to get high and get some food? You really, it's going to set you back. Life is brutal. And I can tell because I can come to a country in South America. It ain't really that cheap in South America. I'm like, how much was that? I was like, that's kind of what it used to be in the States. Yeah, the whole world's fucked on that. So, China didn't change the food prices, do they? Pretty much stay consistent.
Food stays very consistent. Beijing's expensive for China, not by American standards, and so is Shanghai. But man, we were in Wu Yan's hometown. I was just telling him right there, a beer in China, which is a big, they're like the ones in Vietnam, the big fucking beers, watered down. We should mind you, but that shit is like 50 cents, 50 cents a
The,
bottle. You
the,
know,
they fucked up the government thing. I mean, it's really quite simple. Give everybody's allowed to own something that they can live in, even if it's tiny.
yeah.
Just make that reasonable and make alcohol cheap and food fucking reasonable. That's it. That's it. If you give people the necessities, actually, they don't cause too many problems. That's it. That's
It's a
it.
fundamental understanding that China has. Like, there's all kinds of shit about, China's fucking up this, fucking up that, but I don't know, man. I look around this place, no crime. People got shit. They got a place to stay. You know, I don't know.
Do you think it stems out of the 50 million or whatever starving to death over there with Mao and all that shit? Like, do you think
Good.
because they had nothing that now they make sure that never happens again?
There are tremendous pendulum swings,
Yeah.
as in every country, but the extremeness of Mao, and then there was the wild openness of Deng Xiaoping, and then she kind of is bringing it back in the other way. But that ultimately, see, here's the thing, man. It's all about greed in the end. They started making money, and now the money does guide everything, just like in America, you know. And it's interesting. Did you know that the Chase? You know how Jesus was called into the desert? He had the temptations. You remember all that? Here's some bread. Blah blah blah. The Buddha had three temptations too. Did you know that he was called into the forest and he had three temptations, and they were greed. That was number one. Number two was lust. And number three was social duty. Yeah. And I was thinking like greed, that is the test of our society, man. I do not know if we're ever gonna beat greed. Greed is fucking king these days. And it's become our God, and it is a vengeful, brutal God.
What
Like kind of a shitty one to pick, man.
Well, I think if greed doesn't get you, lust will. It very rarely will
Mm.
you find someone that can avoid both of those. What was the last one? Social duty? It seems easy
Doing what you're told, like with
uh,
obligation distance. Think about that in an Asian society, though, right? And Buddha, right? A king, genuinely a prince, right? Like he had genuine obligations to society and having to let those go. Like I could definitely understand it in the Asian context, but
sure.
man, greed's a motherfucker. I have no idea how you slay this demon, or if it can be slain. It's just too big, too powerful these days.
I don't think it can. I know it would get me. I would humbly say it would eat me up very quickly. And you would be completely unconscious of it, I feel like. I don't understand people that think that, oh no, wouldn't change me, man. Wouldn't change me. Like, bullshit. Bullshit. Rare. I think I've met a handful of people where I can say it didn't sway them that much, but I'm not built that way. I'm not.
If you can't, if you can't make $5 work at Taco Bell, there's something wrong with society.
Yeah.
That was a pillar of my diet growing. Probably explains why I look the way I do today. But that was like absolutely essential back in college. Like there was that feeling of like at least I can go to Taco Bell. At least I can get a bean burrito for 89 cents. Like that gave me hope, man. Maybe I won't kill myself today. Maybe it's worth going on a little longer. Makes a difference. It does, and
Yeah.
just broke my heart. Broke my heart.
It
Yeah.
used to lower suicidal thoughts. Now it increases them.
Yes, I can't afford a bean burrito at Taco Bell. That's fucking low.
It's
Well,
That might be suicidal.
tapping out.
to
Yeah.
to be fair, I saw an article that if you eat fast food like 3 times a week, your chance of having depression is up like 22%. But your friend isn't exaggerating. It's somebody that actually doesn't love Taco Bell, but often is headed home and is really hungry. I haven't eaten Taco Bell in probably more than 6 months because of how expensive it is. Like it doesn't make sense anymore. I could literally go to a sit down restaurant and get something like good to eat for the same price, maybe like $2 or $3 more. Like they priced everybody out. Like, and I think they're shooting themselves in the foot because of that. Like, genuinely, it doesn't make sense anymore to go to fast food. You know it's terrible for you. Like, it's packed. Like Taco Bell's not even real food. So yeah, yeah. Anyone that is not like already very wealthy is not eating fast food anymore.
It's
I am
interesting.
curious, Austin. When you're when you feel like you've been a good boy
Mm.
and you need like you're there and you say, fuck cooking tonight. I don't want to eat whatever slop I got at home. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna eat? Where do you go? You probably got some hippie shit you get. I'm gonna have some quinoa with a little bit of lentil beans on the side, and it's been blessed by the local Buddhist monk. And what kind of shit are we talking about here, man?
Well, I only eat food that's been made with love, and it's really hard to find that in a fast food restaurant.
I'll
We
find
have
that in
a
Alabama.
we have a barbecue place that's down the road that actually has very reasonable prices. Probably like the only barbecue place in like 10, 20 miles that has good prices. Because like, barbecue used to be for poor people. It used to be the worst
Yeah.
parts of the meat that was cooked for like 20 hours to make it palatable. Now it's like you go to a barbecue place, it's like $25 a plate. It's like, what happened?
What?
Like this is for poor people. Like I'm
$25 a
poor.
plate?
Yeah, like I came here because I was poor. Now it's like a bougie food. It doesn't make sense.
Everything became bougie. The poor man got nothing. What do poor people eat these days?
I
What
tell
what
you
do
what
they
they
eat?
eat. I tell you what they eat. You know exactly what they eat. What would you be eating if you were in that house in Hawaii? What would you be eating?
Spam.
You would be eating
Spam.
the gas station meal of the day. That's what you'd
Oh yeah,
be
the
eating.
gas. You know what? That gas station meal's all right.
Hey,
It's not so bad. It's not so bad.
those
Yeah, yeah,
meals,
yeah.
they make some pretty good meals. The little Filipino girls in the bathtub, I'm like, hey, but these are pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. It's true. Damn.
It's where we're at. So, you're living out of a gas. If it was, but I mean, they do that in Japan, right? They're a gas station society, but that's real good food at a gas
It's
station.
really good. Yeah, I lived on 7-Eleven for a month in Japan, and it was totally fine. They had all. I didn't have the same thing one day in a row. It
Yep.
was fantastic. All kinds of options there.
They've done that right in Asia. That was one thing that gave me nostalgia back in Thailand was there's little 7-Elevens. I went in there, I was like, oh, there's so many
Mhm.
choices. I forgot all the unique fucking weird Asian fucking choices that they give you, you know? They eat some weird shit over there. Weird shit.
They love snacks. They're big on snacks. Like little weird sweet thing or chicken feet or something sour and from a fish or they love it. They love
Yeah,
that
this
shit,
is
man. What
mango
you all about?
maggot. Try it. It tastes great. I'm
All
like, no,
right.
I don't want. I don't want to try mango maggot.
We my last day in Yunnan a few days ago, we had one of my favorite things. It's called hand rice. Hand rice is basically like Chinese sushi,
Mm.
except instead of fish, you use like beef and chicken, and you have to use your hand. Like you grab the rice and you mix shit in, and you make like a little sashimi sort of thing, and you just eat it with your hand. And we were going away, and it was super delicious, super duper good. And all of a sudden, one of Yellow Albon's wife, who that's one of Ian's friends, he she ordered a gigantic bowl of fried grasshoppers, you know. And man, oh man, I couldn't do it. Wu Yin didn't want to do it either, but she just like handful after handful of grasshoppers just going into her mouth, and I was like, "Ugh." And she was like, Wang Laoban, try one. You know, I was like, "Ugh,"
You didn't
I
try
couldn't do it.
one? You didn't try one.
If Wu Yin would have tried it, I would have tried it, but Wu Yin refused to try it, and I was like, oh
Why?
fuck, if he try it,
Really? He didn't want to see you try. He didn't want to see your reaction.
I think he knew it was dependent on him trying
Oh,
it, so he wasn't willing to commit. It was they were fucking bugs, man. Like they were
yeah.
big, like cicada size things, you know. And I was like, fuck, I don't know if I can, you
I
know.
had a
So
bite of scorpion in Cambodia and I didn't care for it. I was like, yeah, man, I
yeah.
don't want to. No, it was not tasty.
the logic, the logic they say is that a shrimp is essentially a bug, right? Like they're like shrimp is the same fucking thing. And I was like, I don't know about that, you know, but that's what they told me. So and I like a good shrimp, you know. Are you a shrimp man, Chase? How do you feel about shrimp?
It's a great question. No one's ever asked me that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. I love the raw shrimp with the sauce, the red sauce. It's good.
Ah, classic,
I
classic.
do not like what they do in Asia, where they give you the fucking full shrimp, and I got to rip off its head and its
Mm.
spikes, and like I bled trying to take that shit apart. There's an art to it, but I want it all peeled, and I want the tail to pop off real easily. That's it. I want convenience.
What about popcorn shrimp?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
It's a good little snacker.
Um,
Sure.
I like popcorn shrimp. I always like them. It's just deep fry that shit. And I was, oh, you know, when like what I never really cared for seafood that much,
Yeah.
you know. And but I tell you what, this is definitely the fat boy inside of me, man. I loved all the deep fried stuff, you know, like the popcorn shrimp, fried catfish, you know, like all that
Now,
hush puppies,
what
all
do
that
you
good stuff.
I think you're right about fish. It's never blown me away, but it's either fry it or eat it raw. What do you think of the sushi? I mean, sushi's excellent.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, it's fantastic. I love sushi,
Is that
man.
your favorite food? Is that one of them?
The problem is the quality is so
Yeah.
wildly different restaurant to restaurant. I'll give you some credit. So Austin, a long time ago, me and Chase were in Bangkok, and somehow he had found this ridiculously good sushi restaurant. You remember that place, man? You know, the super good sushi place in Bangkok. And he was like, we're gonna go try this out. And you know what? I think it might have been the best sushi I ever had. It was fan fucking tastic. Fresh. Totally fresh and delicious. It was great.
You know what it was? That's so fascinating. I had my buddy John. John's old friend of mine from a very established wealthy family. John was backpacking Asia. He was there. I was living there. And if you're from a good family, you know cool people. And this couple was traveling through, and we met up with him, and they're like, "Oh, we vacation here once or twice." They knew everywhere to go, like little hole in the wall, down the alley, take two lefts. It was, man, you get a fucking cool couple like that, they'll take you to all. And then we went to the fights afterwards. Got front row seats to Muay
Ah,
Thai. Yeah,
kick ass. What a friend, man. Damn.
cool
You know?
friends. Cool friends are good to
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
I was I was talking to my buddy this morning on the phone. And I was telling him like, if you come to China, man, we will hook you the fuck up. You know, I can't do it in Beijing because Beijing's kind of lame, but down south, bro, I can take you to all the cool shit in
Well,
Yunnan, man.
let me ask you that. I had a client this week negotiate a contract, and in it, he incorporated the professional teams of his city's season tickets. Because I want season tickets to this, this, and this. and I want box.
Damn, that's
He
pretty
got
high.
it.
That's
He
like
got it.
baller shit, man.
His
Wow.
logic was they give him a an allowance for gas and he gets season
Yeah,
tickets. He goes, dude, I want to have a good time if I live here. Like I want to
sure.
have shit to do. I'm like, that is a great negotiation tactic. He's got winter, summer, spring. He's got everything covered with events on the weekend. I'm like, man, that's
It
I've
was
never heard
so
that.
contract negotiations can be interesting when you're high status, you know. Like
Yes,
I was listening to an interview with Craig Ferguson. Remember the old late night guy, Craig Ferguson? He was
sure.
really late.
It's super
And
late. Yeah.
in his contract, he had a thing. He's like, hey, you know, because every night they'd give him a new suit. So in his contract, he was like, I want the suits. And they're like, okay. Yeah. So he's got like thousands of the finest tailored suits just because he just added, he's like, I didn't even think about it. My agent put it in there, you know, just like, hey, I get the suits. And so he's got like thousands and thousands of amazing tailored suits just because he added it into the contract,
Thought it
you
was
know?
brilliant. Now, if you guys had a big dog contract, is there anything you would edit in? Something like that. Season tickets to me
Uh,
is fantastic. You know, and not even a big sports guy, that would be fantastic.
I'd have like all kinds of time stipulations. Like, you know, I have the right to take a, you know, like every Friday off, you know, and like I'd be like, listen, I celebrate every holiday from every religion because I am one with all people, you know, and like just all kinds of time off shit and lots of excuses. Like I have the right to not, you know what I do? I'd be like the right to refuse meetings. You know, that's in the contract. Like you didn't show up to the meeting. Yeah, actually, that's in my contract. I don't have to go to any of the meetings, you know.
It's a
So
great idea if you work for a company with tons of meetings. Like, look, you get to miss 2 meetings a month. You know, pick your
yeah,
two. You know, just pass us the card. Says, I'm not going today. Take care.
dude. Yesterday so school's getting started back up and it's all the PD shit and all that, but anyways, where this woman comes up, this whole thing was in Chinese, an hour and a half lecture of a Chinese psychologist, right? And you know what she talks about for an hour and a half? Her son's masturbating habits.
Hmm.
Like got up there and talked about walking in and her
Well,
son
that sounds kind of
masturbating.
interesting. What's he doing? What's his
Oh,
thing?
it was so painful. Just like she was like, I know what you're doing in there, and I just want you to know, please wash your hands and wash your private parts. You're good. And stuff like that. And then she every embarrassing story about her son she told. And he's a middle schooler at our school, telling literally every teacher here. Like, yeah, he was man, and then when he was a kid, he used to go up to strangers and ask them if they had penises, and this is normal behavior and all that. And I was just like, this poor kid. Like it was, I just felt like if he knew, he would have a heart attack and just kill himself right
Yeah,
there
but
if he
you
knew.
know, we're hearing that and we're just like, yeah, we've been there. We've been there, dude. I've been that kid. We've all been that
Had
kid.
mom telling everybody
Not
about your
that,
math.
no, no. But we whatever he's doing, we've done it. Yeah. So feel for the guy.
Yeah, but I just feel like there's something very wrong with using your family as a science experiment, and then sharing the data with everybody. Like I remember reading Piaget. He was sort of an educational OG guy and stuff, and he did all those experiments on his kids. And I remember just thinking, you can't do this, man. Like, just I don't know. It just feels like playing with fire, and then when you share the data, it's too intimate. Those
We
kids got privacy too.
If that's happening in meetings, you have to question what's the relevance of the meeting. You know, I think the
Everyone
meet the
questioned that. Why are we talking about any of this?
everybody hates meetings, you know, and they're like they're supposed to be a part of a job. Every week we're gonna have a meeting. I'm like, why? Why do I need to see these people and talk? I don't need that. Like if I need to talk to someone, I'll reach out. Like meetings need to die off for the most part, man. They're not helpful.
I don't know why they feel like speaking a word, like you have to, when somebody is speaking in a lecture format, that's more powerful than an email. They can communicate the exact same thing immediately in bullet points, Like I don't understand the
What
need for that. Like, why do they think that's better?
when I was part of a meetings team, you were in that, the place I used to work with the dictator that ruled it. I've never seen
Oh yeah.
ass kissing like those in those meetings. I mean, I was amazed. I was like, man, I remember thinking like, you just get on your knees and start sucking his dick. Because there are some
Yeah.
people in those oh, that's a great idea, sir. We're gonna name the restaurant after you, sir. Everybody voted and agreed we're gonna name the restaurant. I'm like, I didn't vote for that. I didn't, not me. Even Chase. I was like, no, these people. And you know what? They eat it up. I think a lot of bosses love it when people kiss their ass. I can't
Yeah.
stand it. I think a ton of people crave that shit. It's like, yes, worship me. Put me on the pedestal,
Hey,
please.
have you seen the most recent episode of South Park, Chase?
No.
Uh, everybody's lining up to give Trump gifts, like to kiss his ass. Like you got Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates are all giving him gifts and stuff. And Randy sends a tally to Trump to ask him to legalize weed, you know, and they've got like the little Return of the Jedi like projection, and Randy says up and he's like, "Help me, Donald Trump. As a gift, I give you this towel," and they use Tally to clean Trump's ass, and he's traumatized by the whole thing, and stuff. And Satan's in there too, and he's like, "Listen, Tally, we're just in the bed with this guy, and we have to accept it. Like, it's just there's no escape for you and me," and stuff like that. That's it. But it was that idea of kissing the ring, man. That was the whole point. Like, come kiss the ring. Like it's like Versailles, kiss
If
the ring, what
if
you
you
want.
became the dictator or warlord and everybody tried to kill you, and now they got to worship, I might revel in it too. I might. If you tried to
Right.
destroy me, now you gotta bend the knee
In the
over and over.
knees. Kiss the ring, suck the dick. All three. That's just
Sure,
how it works.
sure.
Yeah.
Is there any
Well,
feedback from the other guy on this, whatever his
Oh yeah,
name
we have
is?
somebody else on this podcast, just so you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Jeez.
hard to get a word in edgewise these two jokers, but yeah, apparently Trump's like he was a protege of some lawyer, something Cohen, and this guy was mob related. And I think a lot like Trump got a lot of his demeanor from this guy. Who's the FBI director that wore a dress? What was that guy's name?
J. Edgar Hoover.
Edgar Hoover. Yeah, apparently
Yeah.
he hung out with Edgar Hoover at some of those parties in which he was wearing a dress, and he was this Cohen dude learned the finer points of blackmail. And this is why a lot of people are turning against Trump because of some of the people he was hanging out with that he was a protege to in his early years. Like Trump, because there's a notion that Trump was like this guy out of left field, that he was not connected to politics or like people in politics, and that he was like a free agent that wasn't attached or blackmailable or bought or anything like that. And like people are now coming out that looks a lot like, we have the Epstein letter, the whole Enigma stuff. That it turns out this guy did not have a clean record, and he was hanging out with very shady people, and he probably did do a lot of stuff that would have got him blackmailed, very likely and potentially. So I thought it was really fascinating. Like the kissing the ring thing, reminded me. People say that he had a lot of mob connections when he was building casinos in what was that? It's like a shitty Vegas, but
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City, yeah. Because yeah, he was building casinos in Atlantic City. They ultimately failed, but apparently that's also where he had a lot of mob connections too. But
I mean,
what do you
does
think of
that
that?
makes me like him even more now? I mean, yeah. What
Well, the
about you?
idea he was supposed to be clean. He was supposed
What?
to.
Who says this clean? What is this? What does that mean?
He was
You got
supposed to be like
you're worth
not
billions of
blackmailed.
dollars. I find me one clean billionaire. There's no fucking way. It's not possible.
No, Trump came out. He's like, I'm not taking anybody's money. I'm working for the people. I'm the head of a populist movement, America First. And it sounds looking a lot like it's Israel first, like at least partly. I mean, he's releasing, legislations going through that you can't criticize
Austin, would you
Israel.
cross Israel? Would you cross Israel if you were president? Would you?
If I was president,
Yeah, if you were
I mean,
president. I wouldn't even do it as president. I would still be
Wait,
scared as
wait, how
president.
come Israel's not afraid of crossing us? Huh? Why should we? It's a tiny little bitch country.
They run it.
Why the fuck?
They
This
they
is-
they they don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
that is not correct. That is not correct, man.
There's no
That would
fear.
be
There is
like
zero
that'd be
fear of
like
Israel from the US. Zero.
that's
Zero.
like Cambodia telling China what to do. And
No.
it doesn't make sense. Does not fucking make sense.
When has the US ever told Israel what to do without Israel's consent? No.
Uh, Jace, you know what this sounds? It sounds like you're an Alex Jones Jewish cabal, man. Sounds like, yeah.
Nah, hey, look, if you're on top, you're on top, and Israel's on top. I'm first to say it. So, props for getting there. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That J. Edgar Hoover guy is really interesting, man. He was essentially the most powerful man in the world, and like the CIA, the CIA wasn't always there, man. That's a post World War II institution, and it got started when the United States captured former Nazi spies and integrated them into the system. The CIA was genuinely founded by former Nazis. Like it is an element of darkness in the American system that is so bad. Personally, I'm with Christopher Hitchens on this one, man. I think the entire organization should be eliminated. I think it is a source of terrible darkness in America and the world. It is so fucking twisted. You just read the biographies of Hoover, you'll be horrified. Absolutely horrified at what this guy
Horrifying.
was doing.
Hmm. Why?
Horrified.
What's horrifying?
The power he could ruin anyone, anyone's life instantly. Like I'm not just talking about like throw you in jail. I mean like he will destroy your reputation. He will have a minor waiting at your door with a photographer
Yeah.
there. You
Oh.
know, he will freeze all your bank accounts so you don't have access to any money. He will make sure you have no passport so you can't travel anywhere. He will destroy you psychologically. And it gets almost like Maoist shit, man. Like he ruined people and would just drive person after person to suicide, you know? And don't even get started in all the fucking CIA plots all across the world, like what happened in Iran and Guatemala and all these fucking death squads and all these strings pullings. Like it's dark shit, man. Really dark, dark shit. You can see why the world hates us, you know?
Absolutely. I was listening to an audiobook about government programs and stuff. There's a case. It was in 1953. This guy Frank Olson, he was a member of the CIA, and he was dosed to LSD by a guy named Sidney Gottlieb. And this dude ended up having a crisis of conscience. And it's really the beginnings of LSD. Its use as like a psychic warfare drug, and the CIA is really fascinating. At the very beginning, they were just dosing each other for fun, but they were also doing it for experimentation. It is connected to CIA mind control stuff as well. But it was very famous because they were really afraid because this guy was really juiced in, and he had this mental collapse and this more like this. He was really like morally conflicted after the LSD trip that he didn't want to be a part of this anymore, and he ended up apparently. Uh, the official story was that he threw himself out of like a 10-story window and killed himself, but his son had his body exhumed a number of years later and looked like he was hit in the back of the head in a place where the CIA manual on assassination exactly where they said that you should hit somebody to stun them before doing something like throwing them out of a window.
Well,
And
that's
there was a
actually good
number.
information. Wait, hold on. Where do you hit somebody in the back of the head to stun them? That could be useful. What's the spot?
I think it was behind the ear.
Behind the
Behind
head.
the ear.
Trick is to use a baseball bat as hard as you can.
I guess so. Yeah, that's interesting. I'd like to know like a karate chop sort of move, that you could whip out in case that situation.
If you're gonna work for the CIA, I always figured the mindset was, um, I am never crossing the line. I am towing it, and I am morally ambiguous. Like I am aware of this going in, and I'm just gonna tote it because I don't want to be destroyed. And that means just doing what you're told. As fucked up as it is, you're on the inside. I
Austin, do
figured
you know this?
there's people like that, right? Of course,
Yeah.
of course. They would never
Austin,
cross.
do you know Senator Alyssa Slotkin?
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm familiar with that name.
I believe she's the senator from Michigan, and she is a former CIA agent. Um, and I've seen her in interviews. And Chase, I don't know about you, man. I sometimes feel like I've got a very good sixth sense with people when they're peddling bullshit. You know, sometimes it's obvious, like I believe in America and the American people. Like that. But she did something different. She talked very softly and was trying to play up her femininity in a very gentle, motherly way. Like, oh, well, I have very strong feelings about Israel. I'm not going to make a comment about it, but I have strong feelings about it. And it was so perfectly tailored, like it was made in a lab to be a senator, to avoid questions, to try and come off as I hear you and I'm not going to do anything about it, to radiate empathy, but have no substance. And she was so perfectly constructed that it sickened me to my core to listen to her. Like it literally made my soul churn when I was listening to her. And I was like, that's the product of a CIA. And I bet maybe on most of the world who aren't quite as sensitive as I am to that shit, it sounds great. That's how she became a senator. But I don't know, man. There are some people where I just sense the robot in them, and it makes me ill. Do you guys know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes. Think of people that are looking for the next role to play, like that always have been successful, succeeded. The opportunity to move up in the CIA or something like that can be very enticing. And if they give like undercover for 3 years, or here's the mission.
The ultimate acting job.
If
Yeah.
dude, yeah, if you believe in it, like, all right, this is what I got to do. I'm undercover. Sure, sure, man. That alleviates all morality. Well, a lot of it. Totally see him
And
playing a
can
role.
you imagine like the highs of it if you're like a thrill seeker?
Yes, yes.
You know what I mean?
Peak
Holy
experience
shit.
existence. That's why they're doing it. Everybody else just floating through the day, fucking, touching themselves and
That
eating food.
high. Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
it makes life worth living. I totally understand it. Sure.
Could you handle the pressure of like, can you imagine imagine being like in China and you're a US spy and you know that they're suspicious, just every moment you just feel like this could be it. This could be the day where I disappear, like, oh my God. Absolutely could not do it. I wouldn't last 1 second in that kind of role. That shit is terrifying to me.
Yeah. I used to work on as a lifeguard. I worked with this ex-colonel. He had the opportunity to be a general or hop out and marry some chick. He chose to marry the chick and he was kind of regretting it. And he he was the protege, like West Point, football star,
West Point.
secret agent, top of everything, every type of special forces. And I remember these conversations. I was like, how many passports you have? 5 or 6, at a time. And he goes, these are the numbers that you look for to tell if it's a fake passport. And these are the type of missions I'd be going. He's so casual about it. Nothing too detailed. I was like, this guy
You're
did it.
tired, man. Yeah, yeah.
He was struggling with the idea
Wow.
of retirement. He goes, yeah, I guess this can be all right. This is our day. It's like this
What
guy's,
uh
oh man,
what tower were you working with him?
the Uno,
Not in the beach.
the
Oh,
Uno.
really? So he was hanging out. That's too boring for him, man. He's got to be at the seaside or something. Got to have something
When
to do.
you
Keep
were paired with the colonel, you were in for working. All right, time to train, Chase. I'm
right.
going to time you. I'm like, okay. Would not
Time.
question that man at all. I
Yep.
just do what I was told. Yeah.
Austin, can you swim?
Uh, Not very well, but I could if you pushed me into a pool.
Chase, I think one of the great achievements of Chase's life was making time swimming. Yeah. You remember that, Chase? He had to do it for the lifeguard. What
Sure.
was the time? And how far did you have to go?
I think it was 550 meters in 10 minutes.
550, 10 minutes. So that's 10 laps, 10 and
I
a
don't
half
know.
laps.
It's
Okay.
it's not it's I think if you swam before it's like shouldn't be that big of a deal. Never swimming before was fucking intense. Yeah.
Yeah. See, one of the things I learned, Austin, I love swimming. If I had a pool, I would swim all the time. I like swimming. But me and Chase, we're probably dwarfs somewhere in our long family line. We are short, stocky people that are not meant for the water. And I remember one time I was dating a guy who was 6'5". He was tall dude and he was a swimmer. Like back in high school swimmer, that sort of thing. And one day I was like, let's go to the pool. And I've been swimming every day. Like I love swimming and all that stuff. I was like, dude, I'm gonna kick your ass and stuff. The second he got into the pool, it was one of the great realizations of genetics in my life because he so easily trounced me. It was not even. He started lapping me. You know, like, it was unbelievable how suited he was to the water, just like a fish. You know, and I realized that God does not want me swimming around in this water. You know, I was made for Texas.
Well,
I was
dude,
made.
I I like to run, and I've ran with a couple people where I'm like, what? They have a third lung, like
Oh,
that
yeah.
pace, and they don't look athletic. They don't even look like they're in shape, but they get out there and they just go. I'm like, whatever they have, like they could run for days.
Chase, that's what we in, man. He
Yeah.
can go forever. I and at a high pace, man. We'll be doing the treadmills. I can do like when I'm really feeling well, I can do like 7.5 or 8. That's like top
Oh, speed.
maintained speed,
Yeah.
you know? And he'll go up to 10, 11, 12, and he'll just maintain it. It's just he's a freak. He's a freak. He's like nothing. He's like a little skinny nothing Chinese boy, but he can just do it forever. It's just in the DNA, man. Just thousands of years of picking rice. They've got that endurance,
Dude, running from
just
your enemies, they never could catch you. Fucking just
catch
can
him.
outrun them, man.
What were our fucking people doing, man? Our people were they were preaching, and we were staying behind the leaders, whispering advice to
Bold counsel or
them. Yeah.
placating, as we like to call it.
Hey, Austin, what does Elrod mean? Does it mean the rod? Is that what your people were known for, being rods, or having rods?
The lightning rod, maybe, or something. I don't
Maybe it
know.
was the lightning rod. What were your people? Where does that name come from?
Yeah, my great grandfather was in the manufacturing business, so and he made rods of various forms and fashions. Yeah,
Where did that money go? What happened to that? Huh?
yeah, the great rod empire. Sadly, his son was a gambling addict, and he lost it all. So
Shit. That seems to be how it
I
happens.
definitely
Hey,
didn't make all
hey,
that up.
hey, it's English and it's derived from variations like El Rot. El Rot.
Rot. Man,
Yes.
you're the decay.
The
All of life
decay.
is decay. All things are fated to decay, man.
Wait,
That's
wait,
it.
wait. What is this? El Rot, possibly referring to habitational place name in the English origin from Old English. Personal name Athelderid? Athelderid. Guess what Athelderid means?
Uh,
No, noble counsel.
what?
The
No, that can't be right. No,
bold
no.
counsel's better than noble counsel. Nobles will just tell you what you
Noble counsel and bold
manipulate you.
counsel, and they all come together in the end, right?
I
Oh
like
my
Elrot. I like that better. Start calling him that. Just,
I'd like to be
no,
referred to as Noble Counsel, Austin Noble Counsel from here's
no.
forth.
Wow,
it's a great.
Heretofore,
It's a
please.
great title to have. What kind of counsel do you give? Noble. Wow.
it's. I want you to ask Marty for proof of that manufacturing. Yeah, we made rods in the past. That sounds like something you would say. Hey, yeah, we were rod people, man. That's what we made. A lot of fortune. Somebody gambled it all away. Speaking of which, Austin, do you gamble? You gambling man at all?
I no, I don't think I've ever gambled in my life. So
What? You know who loves to gamble? Your
Vic,
stepbrother there. No, no, no. Chase. He's
Chase.
a gambler. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know?
Gambling leads to nowhere. Although I do fantasize the idea of having like a lot of money one day, not enough, and
And gambling?
wagering it all
Yeah.
on one bet.
Like Norm Macdonald, man. He used to do that shit. It's
Everything you got on one bet. This is it. Either you're dying on the streets or you're happy surrounded by your family, which is
I
it.
apparently
watched.
Orson Welles' father apparently was like he inherited a whole bunch of money, but he made all of his big money from gambling, like going to Monte Carlo and just breaking the bank. He was lucky. He was like just crazy, crazy lucky and became a millionaire through just gambling in Monte Carlo. I'm sorry, Austin. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, it's all good, man. Just like I've watched a number of documentaries about gambling addiction, and it's like it cuts the most pathetic figures I've ever seen in my life. Like these people just crumbling before some shitty machine, just hitting it over and over, doing like dollar slots or whatever, losing every penny they have. They're there at 8 in the morning until they close at night. It's incredibly pathetic, but it seems like these machines like completely hijack these people's nervous systems. Like every penny they had went to it. And I thought like, yeah, like drug addiction is pretty bad, cocaine addiction is pretty bad, but you would never lose like $1 million on cocaine in a day, like you would gambling. Like the numbers that you could lose gambling are like uncontrollable, or there's no end to it. You could lose everything you've ever made in your life in a couple of hours through gambling.
Have you seen the shit on online gambling these days? Have you seen any stats or anything like that?
No.
Not stats, but there are a number of people. I think they're on like Twitch and so forth. But yeah, same thing. Just like pathetic figures doing a lot of cocaine, and
They
they live
say
stream their gambling.
they say that the online sports betting these days is a worse epidemic than opioids. Like they say that it is titanic how bad it is. Like I watched a whole documentary on it, and they were just like, I think it's something like 1 in 4 young men are gambling, and like something like 1 in 10 have lost everything, like bankruptcy completely. Because these apps, they'll do things like, we're gonna give you $1,000 today, 1,000 for you to just play with and just do whatever you want, and like, and then of course $1,000 immediately disappears, and they'll let you bet on anything, like not just like Chase betted on a presidential election once, right? Yeah. They'll
I
let you bet
won,
on
and then
like,
I lost it all.
yeah, they'll let you bet on, yeah, you know what, there's going to be a flag called on this play right now. Like they have that second gambling, like they're going to get 5 yards on this play. It's like instantaneous sort of shit. And apparently you can't stop. And there are all these horrible stories of, like these wives are like, yeah, I just, we'd saved up everything for retirement and we had our kids' college funds and it was all gone in one weekend. That was it. It was Monday Night Football that was destroyed. And I was like, holy shit. It's some serious dopamine, man.
Yeah.
Crazy dopamine.
It's the itch of feeling alive, man. At least for a second, life's meaningful. But then the deprived, I mean,
Feel it.
you feel something.
So what makes life meaningful? Money. Money is the ultimate. It gets back to greed, baby. It is our God, and we will make sure we worship this God. Yes. I just wish there was an escape, Unfortunately, the communists lost, which means we're all fucked in the end. Happy day, right? Yeah. Yeah. No one has anything to say. What's going on with you guys? I'm bringing the energy today.
That's the other
I'm
guy. He
bringing
said
the
10 words this
fucking
whole podcast.
energy.
It's him.
That's not true, Chase. So, would you consider yourself an addict, Chase? A gambling addict?
No. It's too much tension, especially when it's high stakes. Like I can feel my heart. It's like it's not good for my heart. For me, I like to bet on a big game a couple times a year, or a big fight. Like in my ideal world, if I had money to like I'll set aside $500. If I lose it, fine. If I make money, I run with it for a while. But I don't never add on to it. That's it. So
I
when
will
it's
say
out, it's out.
it does make fights fan-fucking-tastic. When you got money on a fight,
Here's
it's
here's
fantastic.
here's been my gambling experience over the years. It started out like $100 and I made like 4 or 5,000. And I bet the most I've ever got up to is 12K. And I just was like, fuck it. I didn't have anything. I'm gonna try to go, and I always lose. So I have
Why?
these.
Why have? What is that? Why not just say like, you know what, 6,000 is in the bank? You know,
Because you started out so low and you're just like, well,
uh,
you convince yourself so quickly, like, well, I wouldn't have anything anyway. I wish I had that mindset. I do. I wish I had it, but then you end up losing it. So
it is crazy how like bad we are with money. I have no gift for money at all. Like I'm good. Like I don't have any problems and stuff. But the idea of taking money and making it into more money, I don't have this skill. I don't know how rich people do it, and I'm terrified, absolutely terrified of any kind of investments. Like it's like an innate fear of the stock market. It's why I don't gamble, because I'm just like, oh my God, it's so risky. And it's the same thing with all kinds of investments. I just see risk, 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 risk. And I don't know. I guess it's just in me.
been around rich people before, counseled them. Money is always at the tip of the tongue. And they'll talk about growing up where that's the only good conversations I ever had with my father was with money.
Money.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like how to make it, how to take it, how to save it. So it's part of your essence, almost like being spiritual to other people or going to church for other people. I think it's along those lines. It's a ritual every week.
Speaking of spiritual, there's something I want to bring up here because I do think that if we're looking at the DNA of our people, Chase, I think there is a spiritual proclivity within us. Yes, like a part of us that's drawn to something beyond the physical plane. Yes, we have a family of preachers and ministers going back for many generations, by the way, on both sides of the family. Yeah. And I got to say, Chase, I was
What?
fascinated by a moment that happened this year, and we had a podcast the other day. And Austin, this involves you too. Austin really, really wanted Chase to participate in meditation. Yes, he's been pushing this for a while now, and Chase refused. He's refused every single time. Yes, and this fascinated me because one, Austin, I want to know why you care so much about evangelizing this sinner over here. You know,
Yeah.
and Chase, I want to know what the source of your stubbornness is. You said I have some. I do. I absolutely do. Mom and
Some?
dad have it, but I want to know what the source is. Like what causes you to say, you know what, fuck you, even though somebody might be trying to help you. Think, for example, mom. That's how she'll say everything. I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help. You know. And Austin, I'd like to know what this is in you that wants to push for trying to evangelize Chase here. Gentlemen, could you explain this to me? I was fascinated by this the other day.
I guess I'll go first. Chase is such a sad figure. I mean, he puts on a strong face, but he goes through his meaningless life. He barely gets by. He cries in the shower, and I think it would really help him. Like I don't want him to be in a world with such a sad person. He's the saddest person I know by far, for sure. But he puts on a good face, uh, and I think he could just be much better. You know, I
Compassion.
hate I
Go ahead.
compassion. I hate to see the man suffering this as much as he does. I hate
Mm.
that he has such a meaningless, vapid, surface level life that he has nothing to hope for, and all he has in his life is vices like gambling. So he needs
See,
more,
Austin,
man. He needs more.
I, I'm with you, man. I see all the truth that you're pointing out, but I do want to say this. I was thinking about what I want Chase to join in the meditative journey. And I had a little tinge of competition come up in me. I was like, I don't know. What if Chase started doing it and he was better at it than me? And I was like, oh, that wouldn't be good. I kind of want to keep Chase down a little bit, like, because it kind of keeps me up in that brotherly way. And then I realized that was not the compassion. That was not the correct attitude to have. So, Austin, I'm glad that you balanced this out by bringing the proper amount of compassion to this particular equation. You are teaching me, sir. Now, Chase, how would you respond to those words of wisdom Austin
Austin,
directed toward?
do you ever think there was a period in my life where I actually practiced meditation? If you had to guess.
If you a period of your life where you seriously practiced it for like more than like 5 minutes a day for a week, I doubt that. Yeah.
There was one time in my life, and I did it it wasn't a year, and it was probably a little,
What?
it was probably 6 months.
Bullshit.
Let me
Oh, I
finish.
don't. Oh my God.
Dude, what are you doing? First off,
Sorry.
I hate meditation, and I'll tell you why in a second, but I was in Thailand. Vic met this girl. I had a girlfriend, and this was the sweetest, kindest, like most authentic and genuine. Like it's just there's a purity to her, like in essence, purity, beautiful little chick. And she was a Buddhist, and you could feel that she was a Buddhist, like the best attributes of a Buddhist, like goes, meditates, prays, and I just liked being around her, and it became a thing. Every Tuesday, and I think every Sunday, she would take me to the temple, and we would go. And the temple was cool. You pay them a little money, and everybody sat in a room, and you said a little chant, and you sat there for 30 minutes or longer. You could stay a little longer, but you meditate. Everybody was in their stance. Some were laying down, some were in their stance, but it was silence. So we just did this. It wasn't every day. Sometimes I did it without it at home, but 2 to 3 times a week I was in temple with her because I liked it. I liked the people. I liked the vibe it gave. It was fucking authentic. Nowadays, let me tell you why I hate meditation. Last job I had for 3, 4 years, every fucking team meeting. Let's start with a chant and a meditation. And who wants to set the intention today? Chase, you never want to set the intention. You don't want to set it today. Okay, that's okay. That's fine. I have to put up with this shit. This fucking therapy nonsense bullshit fucking meditation where people are like, oh, this is what you need to do. You need to set your intention and you need to have a mantra. I'm like, these guys are fucking horrible. This is fucking awful. Now, when I was hanging out with a chick who actually sat me in a room and showed me how to do it, I was like, these people are actually doing it. So for a very small period of my life, I did it because I liked her. I liked her. I liked what it gave me. That's it. After she left, I quit and I never went back. And therapy's fucking ruined it. So that's where I'm at on meditation, man. Yeah.
Wow. So you did it for a lady, and then she left, so you stopped.
2 to 3 days.
And
When
then
she moved away, it was really difficult. We tried long distance. It was fucking hard. Yeah.
you let some losers like frame meditation in a negative way.
It's been
And like,
it's
dude, you're very so
there's a
they influence you.
mindfulness behavioral therapy that is crucified. It's crucified it. It's crucified it, brother. I don't even remember what I did in the temple. They have mutilated meditation nowadays to where every idiot thinks he needs to meditate for 5 minutes in the morning, never reads anything about it, and thinks they've mastered their inner self or something. I
Chip,
don't know. It's
have
fucking.
you considered that maybe Austin's version is different?
I don't but see Austin with Austin, he's too forceful with it. Like I'm great. I'm glad that he did that. It's helped him, but it's always like it feels like a sermon. I hate sermons, man. My whole life was sermons. Dean, you know this. This is what we got in our family was sermons.
I but
Preachers give
I haven't.
sermons.
Of course, I'm not the one receiving it, but I've seen it as somebody who cares about you and is offering something to help you.
Sure. Then let me say, hey, I want to try it. Don't be like, hey, you need to try it. I'm like, just, no, I don't. No, I
So yeah,
don't.
so hey, so here's my question, Chase, and it's the more general question. Where do you think that comes from? Because I got it too. I got it too. Just the nah, I'm not gonna listen
I
to
know
you.
exactly where it comes from because my whole life when I was fucked up, and when I fucked up, I was lectured on why I fucked up. This is why you made the wrong decision. You didn't consult me, and this is what you should have done. And don't ever do that again. I told you so. You're never going to amount. It's subtle, and I don't blame anybody. When somebody fucks up, it's your tendency to tell them, but I don't want to be, I don't like it. I don't like it. That's my favorite thing about the East. Nobody ever told me what to do. Hey, you want to come? Come. You got questions asked. Like I love that. That fit me so well. I hate
Do you
Christianity
see
because
that?
they knock on doors. I absolutely hate it. I hate that
So do you
concept.
see that as essentially part of your character now, or do you see that as something that one day you'll be able to kind of alter, or nah, that's just who I am,
It's not in
from this
all
point.
aspects though, man. It's just it's just certain areas. I think you become a little lighter as you get older, but it's definitely been conditioned in very hard. Sure. Sure.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
Chase, you're really painting me in a negative light, and you're making me think really deeply about how I've
Good.
gone about
Maybe
things.
make a shift for the better. This is good for you.
I I'm enthusiastic about it because it's helped me over the years, and it's very important to me. But man, if you don't want to meditate, that's fine, and I won't press it on
Austin,
you.
if you
And
were a fine ass little Thai chick, the Chase would be
yeah,
journaling more than anybody. This motivation's just not there right now. It could change.
look, man, if you don't want to progress spiritually and psychologically, that's perfectly fine, brother.
I
Like you
don't.
keep doing you.
I don't want to progress. I want to regress if that's possible. I want to go back to infancy stages, make fun of people, just shit like that for a while. That'd be fantastic.
You know what, Chase? I encourage you. I accept you, and I hope you have a great time doing it, man.
This is a loser. What does he say?
You don't have to meditate for me to accept you, Chase. I would like it if you did, because I think
Listen.
it would
I
make you
think you
better.
guys would totally be with me, maybe even further along than me. If you had my job and sit in those team meetings, by the way, who wants to set the intention today? Let's all start with an let's all meditate together. What's the first thing that comes to your Chase? Nothing. You don't want it. Okay, you never want it. Okay. It's horrible. Let's all pretend to be fucking spiritual people. It's
No,
fucking, it's awful. It's
Chase,
awful,
I
man.
completely agree with you.
You couldn't
Okay,
handle it. You couldn't handle it, man. It would break you, man. You'd be in a ward. You'd be in a ward
there,
somewhere. It'd snap you.
there's nothing worse than people acting spiritual. There's nothing worse than like forcing people to do that kind of thing. I'm totally against it.
What
I
I
agree with
think
you.
that's probably the real answer is I'm fatigued from it. I don't want to I don't want to be around it because the type I've been around is just has neutered it, mutilated it. It was horrible. And I was around it for years. I don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah, it sounds like it's like toxic spirituality. Like you have to be happy, you have to be spiritual.
It's
Let's all say mantras together.
it's broken therapists in team meetings trying to convince themselves that they're doing good work. I'm underpaid and I'm not making any progress, but I'm on the right path. I'm like, no, you're not on the right path. You made the wrong choice. So yeah, it's horrible. Yeah.
Sure. That's why I don't, yeah, I don't like the like a lot of the new age stuff. I don't like a lot of the self-help perspectives or like angles people take on meditation and spirituality. For me, it's totally practical. You have a technique that's like stimulates the nervous system, produces dopamine, serotonin, all these things. Like you get a high off of it, you get lowered cortisol. Like it's all very
But what if,
practical.
Austin, what if you had season tickets to like the Dolphins, Miami Dolphins and the Heat, and then you go home and meditate? To me, that's the ultimate. Like, I want my season tickets to the big dog shows and then go home and meditate. And then I think the meditations would be better.
I'm sure like I you can meditate and have a full life, social life, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Right on. Right on. What,
Interesting.
Dean, what
Interesting.
do you think of
Interesting.
these answers, man? Do you think they're authentic or you think they're nonsense?
I think they're both authentic. Yeah. I'm I'm always interested in what convinces Chase. I've only seen Chase convinced by people he respects. That's the only time I've ever seen him convinced by things, and they're usually strangers, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And as for Austin, I see, Austin, that you are a creature of compassion and love, and that is something I admire. I do. I think that one of the things that um, I notice here is the familiar connection between you two. There is a bond here, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. So thank you for letting me witness it. I feel touched by the bond.
Hmm.
It's definitely a tolerance me and Austin share. We don't ever take any either me or him too seriously. I don't. He's never said anything that's really cut me deep. I don't think I've ever said anything that's cut him too deep either. It's like a mutual understanding. We're gonna make fun of each other. We're not gonna go too far, and we'll help each other out if we can. And yeah, like it's beneficial more than harmful.
No, Dean, the truth is there's a time when I really looked up to Chase. And
Mm,
I thought he was probably one of the coolest people I'd ever met.
sure,
And
sure. I think we all go through that phase where we look up to Chase for a while, and then reality sits in, and you
Yeah,
realize
2 to
he's
3 days
way.
at most.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
and after a while of giving Chase my best, I just realized it was a wasted effort. And I just said, I'll just I'm not going to try so hard. But you know what? Chase hates it when people try hard. I think he really doesn't like that.
That's
It's
accurate.
true.
It's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Because there's a lot of triers out there, and this goes back to compassion. With, oh, I need to be more compassionate. Oh my God, how was this? How I was like, just stop. Like Dean, and this. You act like it's like a gift we have. When someone's being authentic, you can feel it. Oh, what's up? Oh, I'm
Mhm.
sorry to hear about that. Oh, that's fucking awesome. Like it's just like, yeah, thanks. Instead of choreographed, which is 90+% of people. And I have
I
to
guess I don't sense that from Austin.
My job is teaching people to not choreograph. Most of the people I see are awful at radiating their intentions. That's why people go to
Mm.
therapy. How do you say that? How do you do that? How am I? This is like a little baby. You're a baby, It's just it shocks me the emotional intelligence of a lot of people. It's next to nothing, and yeah, it's awful. Bullshit compassion.
Hey, Dean, before we leave, I'd like to say something to the camera.
Go.
I have
Grass.
applied the technique. I have overcome the deepest, darkest depression. I have overcome opioid addiction with this amazing technique, and I will give it to you for $39.99. So contact me, and I will send you the information. Thank you.
$39.99. You know what that sounds like? A deal.
It's a mantra.
Deal.
Just
Yeah, instead of saying
$39.99.
Om
Just
Mani
39.
Padma, you just say $39.99, $39.99. That'll get you there, baby.
I will give you a book recommendation, and you can talk to me for 30 minutes a day for 3 days. And
And
This
you
I will
just
get
heard
you
this whole
there.
podcast, man. Austin's a talker.
what?
That is a
Oh
hell of a
yeah,
gift. Yeah.
Let me ask you
I
this.
will give you
Would you
everything I
guys
know.
rather pay 40 or 39.99?
Huh?
I'd rather pay 40. I always hated the 99. I always hate it. It's going to complicate the math and pennies and this. I just say $100. Why's it got to be 99? Stupid. I hated
You're
that.
such a contrarian, Chase. Just pay the $39.99, man. Save the penny and move on with your life. You're such a contrarian, you know? Something I've noticed about you, Chase. You always got to be the guy with the alternative view. You know what? Just be like everybody else and just say 39.99 sounds better than $40. It's got a 3 in the front. It's got to be cheaper.
You could
I'm
be
liking
right.
this feisty Austin. This feisty Austin is good. We need more of this. This is good.
Desperately.
It's just
That cacao. It's that cacao, man. It's fucking with you. I
No,
can
it's
tell.
not. It's because I called him out on his meditation, and he's like, I didn't feel too good. I'm gonna talk a little more.
You know what? You know what, Chase? It was a fair point. It was an extreme point, but I think it was an authentic point from you, and I think it gave me a glimpse into your personality. So if I'm ever going to try to convince you something, it's going to have to be subliminal. If I ever want to convince you anything, I cannot be direct with you. I know this now.
That
Subliminal would be a
might
good approach. Yeah,
be true.
absolutely.
That could be true. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, maybe on that note, on that subliminal note, we should end it there. Yeah. We good to go?
Sure.
I think so. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for listening to this week's episode of The Divine Brothers. We'll see you next time.